Hello, welcome everybody. This is the bi-weekly group session and healing session as well in the Heart Open Miracles Effect members community. And as always, this is your safe space. So if you join live, just remember I keep your name and your image anonymous. However, I love when members show up and, ask questions and get deeper insights to, different things that you might need or want, whether that is clarifying on some of the stuff in the modules and the questions or any topic regarding healing, just starting that conversation as well. So let's get started by always grounding and doing the breathing. And we want to be totally empathetic to each other, supportive of each other's healing. So we want to stay positive, but also supporting each other to shift towards a better future. Okay. And sometimes that starts off difficult conversations that we need to have, right? So again, if you are watching this after the recording, thank you for watching it and joining. The energy healing works the same way, so please make sure that you are doing these regularly. The beginning of the session where we do heart activation, just a bit of grounding. This is your opportunity whenever you're watching it to make sure that you do it as well so that it is a lifestyle practice. So don't skip over that portion, but just speaking ahead, we will do a little bit of a Q&A today. I basically have a list of saved up Q&A regarding more about some of the things that show up when we do our one-on-one healing sessions and what those things means, okay? So I'll cover some of the some common and some not so common questions about body systems, what it means when saboteurs show up or attachments, for example, and energetic things that show up as energetic, for example, pathogens and toxins. And then, of course, at the end, we'll do a group healing for everybody that is in the community. Okay. So again, close your eyes. Just doing the grounding and the breathing and heart awareness and activation. Sitting comfortably, pausing for the day or the night, whatever time it might be for you. We have international clients in this group. And just letting everything go as if they're just melting away or disappearing from you. Knowing that anything that you do need to address will get addressed at its appropriate time. This is time for you to check in with yourself, check in with your body. Breathing easy. See if you can now breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth at your own natural rhythm. And just checking in for any dense energies in your body, anything that might feel uncomfortable, or perhaps just it's causing you to bring attention to that area if you are not already aware of any pains around there. Just listening to your body. Your body holds all the clues to all of your trauma, all of your pain, all of your difficulties. But it holds also all the answers to your strengths and your abilities and your human potential. So when we're doing the clearing, we're also strengthening the very opposite, right? So breathing easy. Going to your heart center now. See if you can deepen the awareness, the gratitude, the love of your heart. Feel the glow of your heart's energy. Let that be clear. Amplifying the love. Deepening the gratitude for your heart's energy. Recognizing the importance of your heart's energy in the daily manifestations throughout your life, but also how this resounds in terms of your world, in the world connectivity, how we affect each other, our environment, and the world. Saying thank you, protecting our heart's energy by being aware of the shield around you, not just your heart, but all of you, this vessel that you are in. While still being connected purely to the source, and allowing only love, only the positive things permeating into your sphere. Thank you, thank you. Feeling the love, feeling the gratitude. I'm listening close to see if there's a heart's message today. Seeing what the heart may be trying to show you, trying to share with you. Sometimes even trying to warn you, right? And when you have that, when you're ready, you may open your eyes and just breathe easy and smile. Okay, so today we are going to be covering basically kind of an insight into how, not how, but more of the details in when we do our one-on-one healing sessions. How I kind of find the underlying core issue. Of course, it's not about me, it's always about you. By working with your subconscious, we find the true underlying cause to basically any problems that we have, right? So I wanted to kind of show you with there's been some questions in terms of, well, what does this mean when this shows up in our body? Or how do I even get to that point, right? And you can do this yourself too. When you learn in the intro module, you learn about energy kinesiology, right, for self-healing. In that video, I show you how you can do muscle testing, or actually muscle monitoring, because we're really monitoring the muscle to hear the feedback, which is biofeedback from your subconscious, whether the answer is yes or no, the binary answer that we get from our subconscious, because our subconscious, again, holds all the key, right? We don't want to use our our thinking mind, because it's only very surface level. Without getting deep into that, I know in videos we've covered this, we talk about this a lot as well. But again, so working with energy kinesiology to find the answers by working with the subconscious. on the surface level, right? So when you're muscle testing, you can find out if there's anything that you need to heal by doing the body scanning. And then when you get to a certain point, you can release it by running the magnetic, right, strip, which with a regular magnet, healing magnet, or with your own body's magnetic system through your governing meridian, which on yourself is from your forehead to the base of your neck, right? That controls it or connected to your governing meridian, which is the main energy point down your spine. There are other areas that you can use as well, but this is the most, simple way to be able to quickly release those things. But looking at the human anatomy, um, instead of doing the body scanning, you can also pull out basically the human anatomy, right? So on the top level, sometimes I do in our one-on-one sessions, I do sort of the quantum healing through looking and scanning your body for what it's trying to communicate with me. And then if it pinpoints a certain area, this, for example, for this video's sake, we have the muscles, right? But let's just say it's we have muscles throughout our whole entire body. So then when we get muscles, then we need to ask where the muscles are, right? And then, so for example, if it's the chest muscles, let me just move this so I can show you. So for example, if it's the chest muscles, then we can go down even deeper if our subconscious mind says, yes, we need to ask more questions. So in this case, then if I do need to know, sometimes I may even pull up a more specific diagram, right? For example, this one here that I basically just Googled on the different exact muscles if it says that we need to know further. And that's how we can also get into deeper. So that's one way. And as a body code practitioner, I also have access to the amazing, amazing chart of all the different things that we work on. So for example, we work on energy systems, pathogens, circuit and body systems, misalignments, toxins, and nutritional or lifestyle needs, right? So we can get in down deep in that way through working with systems and so forth. So one of the questions that come up frequently is actually about pathogens. What is the difference between physical and energy of pathogen? So basically physical, there are the physical elements, right? The physical mold, parasites, fungus, whatever you have it, right? I always set the intention to clear it energetically. But if you know that you have a history of it or you're exposed to it, for example, I had a client who was exposed to mold in his previous residence, and he knew of that, and he was undergoing, looking into getting it tested and undergoing treatment for that, right? So if it's a physical energy that shows up in your session, then of course I recommend that you definitely get it tested and stop the source. But I just know that in our session, I always energetically try to release anything that maybe that we can do energetically to get rid of the physical um, pathogen. So for example, mold, right? To get rid of it by doing the energetic work. When we have the energetic of the pathogen, it's typically the energy of the pathogen. So, for example, the energy of the mold. So you were perhaps exposed to it physically at some point, got rid of it, it's out of your life, but perhaps the energy of it is still hanging around. Okay, so that's the main difference between the two when we talk about the energy or the physical. Now, another thing that comes up is, let's take Saboteur. I've had that in the past. So saboteur is when typically somebody else or something else that created like this energy towards you, like the saboteur energy, and sometimes could be we need to find the type of weapon, right? And when this shows up, people tend to freak out. They think, oh my gosh, like, who is this? Why would they do this, right? Now, we do not want to confront the person. Like, if a saboteur shows up in our session, and we don't need to identify the weapon, who it is, what it is, when it is, blah, blah, blah. Then we just go ahead and release it. We always just want to be in full gratitude that we uncovered this issue that's causing whatever it is in our body and our energies and get rid of it, right? But if it says, okay, we actually need to know more about this. So let's go ahead and find out more details, right? And then we find out it's related to your best friend that, put this thing to you. Now, you don't want to confront them because a lot of the times they're going to think you're crazy. Like, what are you even talking about, right? So we don't want to confront them. We just basically want to stay in gratitude that we uncovered this. Now, the reason why they won't even know it is because most of the times they're not sitting around doing that, right? But when it happens is because they may have unknowingly, for example, in a jealousy type of situation, right? They might have unknowingly, like, maybe they were a bit jealous of you, and that created this energy of this saboteur energy, right? Especially those that we love and are close to us. Of course, we don't want to, we hope that they're not, purposely or intentionally creating these things to us. But there has been very, very, very small, rare cases where a saboteur energy was created that were a little bit, I would say, a little bit more intentionally. I mean, I would not know unless I can actually confront the person and, we actually ask them, did you actually, like create this kind of spell thing, right? Again, they're not intentionally saying like, I am creating this, but with very intense negative energies. So if they're intentionally doing this, this could happen. Okay, so I hope that answers that. So another one that shows up that I get questions quite a lot is courting, right? Courting is basically this energetic attachment between two people, right? So you can have this attachment to a friend, a relative, even a coworker, right? At some point, somehow you have created this attachment. And of course, the reason why we are even uncovering and getting rid of it is that it is causing these imbalances, these negative energy towards you. Okay, and courting can happen in many different ways in different relationships, right? Either too much affection, or too much closeness, too much reliance on the person, too much dependency, I guess, could create this courting, right? Or sometimes it could be too much of this shared energy of thoughts towards each other can also create that courting. So in different ways, and obviously depending on your relationship with them, that can create that courting. Okay, now what I want to shift into is talking a little bit more about some of the belief structures. That comes up a lot too. So let's go to, let's see. Um, okay, so this is that's a parallel. Let's just take a simple regular belief structure. Okay, this is a basic belief structure where we have the tree, and then we have the what I explained, the top level, we got the branches, which is the negative programs. Then we have also moving down, we get to the trunk, getting deeper into the belief system, the limiting beliefs, and then getting down deeper into the root system, which is the faulty core beliefs. And then we have the soil from which the tree stems from, which does not always show up, but that's called the faulty core identity. So I think the main thing that we want to cover today regarding belief structures is just when a negative belief comes up, right? Actually, for example, some of the negative belief statements that show up, and again, it sometimes when things show up, we don't, on the neural level, on the conscious and the unconscious level, we don't actually, we may not typically recognize or understand what the statement even relates to within our life experience and memory, because the conscious brain and our neural, our thinking mind is only thinking of what it can remember, and it's only surface level. So typically on the negative programs, it might be statements that you can relate to more, but as we get down deeper, especially if they're inherited, you start to not recognize them, right? For example, statements such as he is better than me or something like that. And then people are like, who is he? But I don't typically think about that, right? Is typically the energy at some point that became a wiring in your brain, which help create this tree structure of your belief. Okay. So all the statements just basically came together to make this faulty core belief system. They are the key beliefs or negative beliefs statements that created the tree. Okay, the key ones. There could be many other little ones, but as long as we get rid of the key one, get rid of the root, pull it out, and of course we always want to cover the hall, right? When we pulled out the tree, we want to make sure that any subconscious gap is filled, it's covered, it's happy. So as long as we do that, basically we are able to correct the faulty core belief system. Okay. Now the other one that always comes up, I wrote it down. It is, let me just find that on the system for you. And always remember, when we uncover imbalances and misalignments, a lot of the times it's our body, our body systems are so complex, right? So you have a pain up here, we might uncover things down here, belief systems related to it. And that's why we work on such a deeper level. And depending on how complex it is, we may have to do many sessions to either heal the layers of the issue, or sometimes we actually work on an issue to help the other issue reduce, and then work on another issue to help the original issue reduce while working on the other issues as well. So it can be very different just depending on how complex the issue is, your experiences, and how your subconscious tells us based on your need, on your particular need for that moment, for that day, for that session time. Okay. Okay. Hopefully that gives you a little bit more clarification so far in those things. Definitely let me know or share if you have any questions or, further insight. You may have other insights that that became like a aha for you as we did the sessions. The other topic that I wanted to cover today is this idea allergy, right? Mostly idea allergy because other allergies are pretty self-explanatory, but idea allergy sometimes kind of catches clients off guard or they have further questions about it, right? So let me just pull up some of the statements that idea allergies might be. So if you read through some of these, so for example, in column B, in row 2, let's take row 2, for example. I just had a client that had this as their idea allergy. Let me think, what were we working on? We were working on the topic of, it was a sleep issue. Basically they have kind of like what do they call it, parasomnia, where basically it's a sleep issue, and they might talk during the sleep, or they might actually get up and do stuff, but not really sleepwalking. Okay, so they had basically some sleep issues, and the idea allergen or intolerance came up, and this statement, idea allergy statement of your personality came up. Okay. So when it comes to a lot of these statements, and even trapped emotions, even certain emotions that show up, right? And it take any of these idea allergies. When one shows up, the subconscious has no language, okay? So it's going to be the closest statement term to whatever it is that the subconscious is trying to uncover and clear, okay? And the idea allergy is basically exactly that. It's this you're allergic to the idea of, right? So for example, feeling unsafe, right? And you might think, well, why would I have an allergy to that, right? And that's the thing. If we get to asking the subconscious on typical the further questions, right? Most of the time we do not need to ask questions, but if we do, then we might find, okay, feeling unsafe as an idea might be related to something that happened when you were 2 and something happened to you. So and it could go 2 ways, right? Like you were actually feeling safe, but something happened and it causes this allergy of the idea of feeling unsafe. And then to basically read the description, idea allergies are generally created when the subconscious mind makes a faulty or negative connection with a particular idea, right? Again, it can be thought, emotions, etc. This usually happens during prolonged or sudden emotional or physical stress. Again, something that happened to you when you were 2 and it causes this idea allergy. Okay, so then it's basically this idea then is considered to be a problem by the subconscious. Okay, and then the negative associations. Okay, so do not take the statements, basically do not you do not need to think too much about the statements like, why do I have this idea allergy or intolerance to the idea? For example, love, right? Like, we might have cleared the hot wall, or you might have a positive outlook in your relationships or whatever. And so then you might think like, an idea allergy to love, like what's that about? Like I don't feel that way, right? But basically the idea allergy is just this negative creation or association that you at some point it created this and basically made it an intolerance for you in your mind. And then, of course, then affecting the different parts of your body, wherever that may be, whatever that may be causing, wherever that may be showing up in your body. Okay. Um, and it's a little bit of a longer, I guess, explanation, because for everybody that kind of shows up differently, um, depending on their story, depending on the allergy and how it affects them. But hopefully that kind of explains it a bit more in terms of like these statements and these phrases and things when they show up. It's basically caused by, this negative association um, during an event or prolonged events, right? Um, big reminder again, of course, if they are inherited, right? You will not find out what it is within your lifetime. You won't have this memory unless you do, of course, meditations where you find out about your ancestor story and your story through the ancestral line, right? You would not be able to understand fully, right? So we want to try to remove our neuro thinking brain, a monkey brain, away from your healing. This is the perfect example of where you want to just remove that. Because the more, even though we work on clearer and you might still have that curiosity, if you're holding a bit of that curiosity, if you are wanting to know more further about it, sometimes you kind of just bringing it back, right? You're recalling that memory, you're bringing it back. Not that it's going to cancel the healing, the work, and the clearing that we've done, not in that way at all. But we're really clearing so you can let go of it, right? It's kind of like, let me think. Uh, okay, so say you're dragging this huge, heavy bag. Sometimes you don't even know you're dragging it, right? And then realizing, oh, you're dragging this heavy trash, right? It's trash. And I'm like, somebody basically says to you, like, hey, why don't you just let go because it's trash, right? So when we're doing the clearing and hearing, we're really just clearing the trash that you're dragging along that you don't need. It's trash, right? So and in when we get curious about it, it's okay. We can ask, to better understand. So it's better understand. So you might look at the trash bag and go, oh, I've been carrying this trash. What's that about? When did I pick that up? Okay. Okay, cool. Now I understand my journey, right? And so I can use that as kind of like, for example, clue to the rest of my journey, how I can avoid that, right? But what you don't want to do is hold on too much about it, dwell too much on it. So, for example, looking into the trash and really digging into it, like, what is this? What is this? Why am I carrying this? Like, maybe I'll keep this item, like, like wanting to find out more about the trash to drag it along further with you, right? Or maybe I'll just keep the bag. Maybe I'll just keep this one item, right? You don't want that. It's trash. Just letting it go. Just let it go, right? Okay. Hopefully that was a good explanation. Okay. If you would like to get back into seating comfortably, we are going to do the group healing portion. Again, share in the community space, share with me privately, whatever most supports you. And thank you for joining me today. I love you. Stay safe and much healing.